What's a commonly known fact that's completely false? Even if there are hot singles in your area, they don't want to meet you. Sad face. Myth: cracking knuckles causes arthritis. Has not been proven. There was a study a guy was told this and so he only cracked the left hand and after like 40 years it showed no additional sickness of arthritis. That we need to detox our bodies. There's this whole fad of detox juice cleanses and detox workout regimes, while in reality, all we need to detox is to not become completely dehydrated. What's also peculiar, is that these people who say we should detox our bodies never specify what toxins we need to cleanse ourselves from. My favorite quote on this: your organs remove toxins from your body. If one of them quits working, a kale smoothie isn't going to help. Yeah, they talk about toxins, but then ingest things deliberately that cause your body to violently empty itself. IDK man. Because of some digestive problems, I have a very strict diet. Like, no coffee, no sugar, no dairy, etc. Once when I was having some problems, ate something I shouldn't have. TCH, a friend recommended detox. My sister does it and it really helps. I said to her, friend, what exactly am I detoxing from? I don't smoke or drink or eat junk food or etc. 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 What toxins do you think are in my body? Toxins are a general term used by people who want to scare the idiot consumer population. It goes like this. Advertiser: toxins bad. Consumer: OMG toxins? What's that? I certainly don't want toxins. Sugar cane grows faster on sand. MINECRAFTHASTAUGHTUSWRONG. But it looks better. You mean sugar cane in real life or sugar cane in Minecraft? Minecraft logic. Diamonds are expensive because they are rare. Bullshit. An explanation that I found interesting. In the 1800s, a veritable diamond trove was unearthed in Kimberley, South Africa. This newfound mine had the potential to flood the market with diamonds and bring down the cost for the precious stone. To prevent too many diamonds from hitting the market, De Beers quickly intervened, bought up the mine and maintained tight control over the global diamond supply. De Beers released only enough diamonds to meet annual demand. This gave the illusion that diamonds were exceedingly rare. In turn, the seemingly limited supply inflated the cost of diamonds. Throughout the 19th century, De Beers effectively maintained a monopoly on the global diamond mines. The cartel would stockpile diamonds, limit supply, and drive up demand and costs. De Beers also began an aggressive marketing campaign to promote diamond engagement rings. The brand pushed out the long-standing tradition of ruby and sapphire engagement ring and replaced it with an overwhelming demand for diamond rings. This fever-pitch demand, coupled with the De Beers controlled limited release of diamonds, increased the overall cost of diamonds. Diamonds are intrinsically worthless, the former CEO of the De Beers Diamond Corp. Fuck De Beers. Carrots don't improve your vision. That's the Brits lying to World War II Germans, and now you. Vitamin A deficiency can harm eyesight and cause blindness, and carrots contain vitamin A. So they don't improve your vision, but they are one of many sources of something a lack of which would cause your vision to deteriorate. Which is presumably why they went with carrots for the radar cover-up rather than anything else. A lie containing a kernel of truth is much more effective than a plain lie. Tried explaining this to my science teacher and she sent me to the principal. Thought that was a joke question. Why are carrots good for your eyes? Have you ever seen a rabbit with glasses? Alcohol doesn't really warm you up. It increases small vessel circulation so you feel warmer, but really it decreases the overall body temperature. It's a vasodilator, meaning the capillaries at the surface of your skin can radiate more of your own heat outward. You can sense this warmth of your own skin as you begin to freeze to death faster than you otherwise would have. To be fair, if I knew I was freezing to death I'd probably happily do it drunk. The Great Wall of China is the only man-made object you can see from space. No, you can't. It's like 30 foot wide. But you can see the moon. It's made of cheese, so it has to be man-made. Right? It's doubly wrong. Not only can you not see the Great Wall, but from space you can see light coming from cities. The sources of which are man-made. It's very easy to see urban sprawl from space, though. And things like dams, long bridges, and large factories. That identical twins run in families. Only fraternal twins can run in families, and that's only because some women are known to hyperovulate, causing 2 eggs to be released at once. That can sometimes run in families, but identical twins are an anomaly. Correct if I'm wrong. Identical twins are one baby that somehow splits in two, while fraternal twins are 2 babies conceived at the same time. Bumblebees shouldn't be able to fly is a complete lie. They do fly, so that's the first clue. I wouldn't say complete lie, the size of their wings shouldn't be able to produce enough thrust in a traditional up and down flapping motion for the size of their bodies. It wasn't till we got slow motion cameras that we were able to see they flap forward to backwards so they can create thrust on both the forward and backward motion. Yeah, but that was said tongue-in-cheek because the guy doing the bumblebee aerodynamic calculations couldn't figure out how they stayed in the air. So when asked how they fly, he said, they don't. We eat IDK how many spiders in our sleeps every year. Did you know the average human being swallows 8 pounds of spiders every second while sleeping? I heard it's like 7. Of course it's a lie. The real number is much, much higher. If we had X number of spiders reach our mouths per year, we would find a decent amount in our bed and on our bodies. Who Let the Dogs Out was about ugly women in the club. Wrong. It's about unwelcome men hitting on women. Google it, the singer has said so in multiple interviews. Wow, I seriously thought this was about actual dogs being let out of the house. Infuriating when guests do that. Oh, how the turntables. Considering the first verse ends with saying he heard a woman shout and goes into the chorus. The woman is the one asking, who let the dogs out? And the song talks about how the men need to stop the name calling and coming into women with no indication of the woman's interest. I just spent a weird amount of time reading and thinking about this song's lyrics. Or just listen to the lyrics in the verses. That humans only use 10% of our brains. That's just a misquotation of an actual fact though. It's supposed to be only 10% of humans use their brains. Typically, brain activity is measured in neurons firing. 8% of neurons firing at any given time is pretty normal. But that does fluctuate a few percent. However, that doesn't mean you're only using 8% of your neurons. You use all your neurons. If too many neurons start firing at once or using more of your brain, it actually starts causing problems. At 20% it's a minor seizure. By 50% you fry your own brain. A good comparison is you use 10% of your brain in the same way you use 33% of a stoplight. What would happen if we used 100% of our brain? Disappointed Morgan Freeman. That it's illegal to drive barefoot. I'm pretty sure I saw somewhere that police actually encourage bare feet driving over driving in heels, flip-flops, etc. I've always wondered about that. On long road trips I occasionally drive barefoot and it certainly feels a hell of a lot safer than, for example, driving in heavy work boots. I drive barefoot all the time. Does anyone know how damn hard it is to drive in 6 inches or higher heels? Waiting time before you can report someone missing to the police. Along with this, the best chance of finding someone alive, especially children, is within 3 hours of them being missing. And this only lowers the longer they are gone, and after 72 hours it is almost guaranteed that the police will be looking for a dead body. Slit pupils mean a snake is venomous. The shape of the pupils is based on if they're nocturnal or diurnal. Diurnal. Does this mean they use both bathrooms? Walks up to cobra and looks it in the eye. We're all good here, it has round pupils. Pee on jellyfish stings. It's actually very dangerous to do so. This is because when jellyfish sting, there are tiny harpoon-type structures that impale you and will typically stick in your skin. So there can be thousands of tiny cuts on your skin, which should be self-explanatory as to why you shouldn't pee on it. The proper thing to do is thoroughly clean it and wrap it, and depending on the jellyfish, go to the Edit, do not pour fresh water on it either, this can cause more harpoons to be fired into you and venom to be released. Urine is not sterile. Urine also irritates the harpoons and cause them to release more venom into your skin. You should first, remove the jellyfish safely and slowly and place it back into the water. Second, get something like a credit card. Run salt water over the afflicted area and scrape with the card. Third, seek out the lifeguard station to get help cleaning it, and to get their medical opinion. That cold weather causes colds. It is hot AF right now and I have the worst cold of my life. But it does weaken your immune system leading to more colds. What happens in the cold weather? Kids start school, families get together for the holidays, more people travel and spread germs. There's more stress which weakens your immune system. Water does not conduct electricity. It's impurities like salt that do, but H2O does not. Edit, more than very short distances. I was technically incorrect about the at all bit. To be fair, all water most people come in contact with has enough impurities to conduct electricity. I remember my science teacher saying that pure water doesn't conduct electricity. So then I am very smart student raised his voice and said, "No sir, you're wrong, pure water does conduct electricity because I have killed fishes in river through electricity." The teacher laughed for a good 10 minutes. Hair grows back thicker when you shave it. I believe this is because our hairs are uneven lengths, but when you shave an area the hairs there grow back at the same length, which makes it appear thicker. It feels coarser because hair usually has a tapered end, when you shave it it's now got a blunted end. Glass is a super-cooled liquid which flows very slowly, which is why windows in old churches are thicker at the bottom. You have to admire the creativity of the shitty glazier who made this one up while trying not to get run out of town, though. Almost no snakes are poisonous. But plenty are venomous. Remember, if you bite it and you die, it's poisonous. If it bites you and you die, it's venomous. That's one reason why snakes don't want to start a fight with you. They're not poisonous, so animals can and do eat them all the time. So when given the choice, snakes will usually want to hide rather than attack. Edit wording. More specific as to why snakes are hesitant to bite, it takes a lot of nutrients to replace venom and precious energy to strike. They avoid biting unless it is something they can eat, or necessary to their safety. Sometimes, venomous snakes will use a dry bite to conserve their venom. But yes, snakes are prey for a ton of animals. Their natural instinct is usually to flee or hide. That information will be very useful next time I decide to bite a snake. Dogs don't sweat by salivating. In truth, dogs have sweat glands all over their body. They sweat primarily through their foot pads. When they are panting, they are helping to regulate body temperature, much like we do. Blood is blue but turns red when it hits oxygen. Nope. The blue color you see under your skin has to do with your veins, not the color of your blood. Your blood is always going to be a shade of red. People actually believe that? Don't people know blood transports oxygen? Fun fact about that, your veins actually reflect more red than blue light, but they reflect less red than the skin around it. Your brain sees this as blue. It's similar to those chess boards with a shadow where some shades appear much darker or lighter even though they're the same color. That we only use 10% of our brain. Yeah, we use a lot more of that. Using 100% of your brain at once doesn't unlock a super genius, that's a seizure. That lemmings commit mass suicide. It was just a weird lie Disney made up for a film they made, and they essentially just tossed a bunch of lemmings off a cliff and told people they just kill themselves. Disney didn't actually make it up. They just popularized it. They threw the lemmings off the cliff when they couldn't get any footage of it actually happening. Lightning never strikes twice in the same place. In fact, it does, and frequently. Cough lightning rods cough. Going out with wet hair gives you a cold. No it doesn't, the cold virus gives a cold. The story of the Chevy Nova not selling well in South America because it translated to, "It won't go." That's some excellent trolling by someone because that made it into college marketing textbooks. Most instances of human contact with a wild, young animal will not cause a mother to abandon it. There are a litany of other reasons why you shouldn't touch wildlife, maybe how the myth started in the first place. That is interesting. That is one I always believed. But it makes sense. I am pretty sure if you picked up a bear cub, the mama would come get it. The mass cultural delusion that the sun's apparent position relative to arbitrarily defined constellations at the time of your birth somehow affects your personality. I'm a Virgo, so I naturally think this is hodgepodge. The weird thing about this whole post is that many of the answers are not the commonly known myth. They are instead the actual truthful corollary to the common myth, which makes it kind of confusing to the readers as to which is which. You can feel specific tastes only on the specific parts of the tongue. That is, sweet on the tip, sour on the sides, etc. They teach this in medical school still, and that's because there is a gradient of different taste receptors on different parts of the tongue. It's not a hard line, though. Just the tip. Tilt your head back when you have a bloody nose. You actually want to tilt it forward and pinch your nose. As someone who had hundreds, possibly thousands, of nosebleeds throughout childhood, just tissue walrus that bitch and get back to whatever you were doing. Tilting your head back actually will help the blood coming out of your nose to stop faster. The problem is the blood instead runs down your throat and into your stomach, causing you to vomit. Committing creates pressure in your head which can then cause the bleeding to start back up. You have to wait 30 minutes after eating to go back into the swimming pool. Parents tell this to their children so they can have a break from being in the water. Probably a common answer, but might as well use it. Napoleon Bonaparte was a short boy. Maybe by today's standards he is on the shorter side, but back then he was around or above average height. When he went into power, or maybe before then, correct me if I'm wrong, they changed everything in France. The units of measurement, the calendar, and etc. This factoid of Napoleon's height, or really how short he was used as propaganda if I can recall. Sorry for shoddy format, on mobile. I think he also made sure that his personal bodyguards were really tall and imposing, and a side effect of this was that he looked short in comparison. He is listed as 5 feet 2 inches. However, before the imperial system, every country had its own feet in inches. There was always 12 inches to a foot, but the size of an inch varied. Even between the similar US and UK imperial systems there are deviations. You see why metric was important? He was 5 feet 2 inches in French feet, but something closer to 5 feet 9 inches in English. In addition, he was known for having pretty tall bodyguards. Fact: bears eat beets. Bats are blind. One of my favorite bat facts is that, for most Myotis species, they are all flying around constantly screaming for echolocation purposes. Imagine how annoying and confusing that would be if not just yourself, but all of your bat friends, are constantly going off while flying through the night. So to compensate, they're able to change the shape of their ears faster than we blink and only take in the necessary information from their echolocation pulses. You will not get a cramp if you go swimming right after you eat. If you go to a regular, wanna cool off swimming, sure, but if you're an Olympic swimmer or do some vigorous swimming, I can assure you you're gonna get a hell of a cramp. Mosquitoes aren't attracted by light. They are attracted by you who are under the light. We got that misconception by seeing other bugs flying around lights and thinking it's the same for mosquitoes. Your mom gay. Clearly. Your dad gay. Germany didn't invade Russia in winter. They invaded at the earliest possible date when the spring mud had sufficiently dried out, end of June. Fool. It is always winter in Russia. That the Europeans thought the earth was flat when Columbus took to the sea and discovered America. The ancient Greeks calculated the circumference of the earth 500 BC. It goes deeper. People knew how big the earth was, because the Greeks were mathematical rock stars. People knew that Columbus couldn't possibly carry enough food to make it. Dumbass Chris was all, I can totally make it. If he hadn't run into the New World, he would not have made it.